I am going to help you target and correct some imbalances that you may have today in some things called motor control drills for your wrists and your ankles. Also very powerful during the workday as a reset, in the middle of a walk, run, or hike. I do these in the middle of marathons, so I'm going to show you. First of all, we're going to actually anchor our fingers into the wall. So our wrists are going to be doing a big circle around our anchor. We'll do the same thing with our ankles, and then I'll show you another type of drill. So first, you just kind of have your knuckles up against a wall or on a bench. What you're going to do is move the wrists up towards the ceiling, and then they're going to try to move outwards, feeling really good tension to that pinky side of the wrist, and then down as deep as you can, and back to the middle. So you might be able to see my hands, I'll move them out a bit. You're moving the wrists up, out to the sides, down, and to the middle. And then try the opposite direction, out to the sides, make it very smooth. Imagine that you're drawing a big clock and you're trying not to miss any numbers of the clock. Go into a range that you feel confident with. Awesome, we're gonna do the same thing with our ankles. So you're actually gonna have the toe anchored. So my toe's anchored, and then moving the front of my ankle forward. I can already feel things waking up in my arches. That ankle's gonna move around, and now back, and to the inside, which I tend to kind of cheat a little bit through here, and around to the front. You could do 1 to 2 circles each direction. I'm gonna go counterclockwise now, around to the 9 o'clock, and back to the 6, around to the 3, and in front. So you'll feel how many muscles in your foot and your ankle you wake up, and it also gives you control. So when you're doing the motor control drill, you're signaling the brain on the opposite side of your body, and it's helping you anchor on the opposite side of your body. So there's some really great benefits here. Also, you can compare sides. If you have an imbalance, work that side more. So if you really have trouble on the left ankle with control, the more work you do on this ankle will help you stabilize the opposite side better, and it might correct some imbalances and injuries that you've had. Now I'm going clockwise. So it's really powerful neural work. So of course I love sharing this with you guys. Awesome, so that's with the anchoring point where we're moving the wrist around and anchor. You could also do the wrist floating in the air, but that's a little bit trickier. So I like to just have you focusing on something. The next part is basically the wrist is gonna be in position, palm stays down. Of course you could do it all different angles, but you're gonna try and keep the palm down and moving my knuckles out and upwards. So I'm drawing a big clock around my wrist now, just in whatever controlled range that you can have where it feels really good. So if your hand's slipping all around, your circle's probably too big. Start back at 12 o'clock and let's go counterclockwise. You can keep that elbow nice and close, really controlled circle, beautiful. And now same thing over here. I'm just holding so that I have kind of good perception of where the center is of the clock up to 12 o'clock. Oh, my left wrist definitely has more trouble moving it in. This side was quite damaged in the past, so this motor control I need a little more help with. And then the other way, so same thing, you could do 1 to 2 circles. So since my left definitely needs a little bit more signaling help, I would do a couple of extra circles over here. You can also try all these drills with your eyes closed. It's amazing the feedback that you get. Last one's for ankle. You can hang onto a wall or you can sit down. So I'm gonna sit down on the bench here. This one, if you try to keep your quads really engaged, it's amazing. You're gonna straighten your leg fully. My arch is has a flashlight on it pointing to the ground the whole time. I'm gonna go up to 12 o'clock, around to 3, right down to 6, around to 9, and back up. And now the other direction. And I'm really focusing on keeping that knee aligned. These are just very powerful drills that you can do anytime, even if you're fatiguing in the workday or feeling a little bit stressed. Because of the way it signals the opposite side of the brain and the brainstem, it even helps you calm your nervous system. Let's get one more on the other side. So straighten that leg fully, stay lifted, point the foot down. And I'm starting at 6 o'clock. I'm gonna move around to 9, up to 12, and around to 3, and all the way back down. And now I'm gonna go to 3, keeping the quads really engaged, up around to 12. So you can start at 12 o'clock or 6 o'clock or wherever you like, but just try a couple of complete circles. You're gonna find some imbalances here, work on those, have a lot of fun with this.